Did everyone see Megalopolis in the theater this weekend? Everyone? Not everybody?
I did not.
Okay.
I tried. I wish I could.
I heard my co-host rant for over an hour, and it almost killed him. So I don't understand what you saw. If you did see it, it must be horrible.
It's turned into so much commentary online about what was he trying to say.
Make Rome great again.
Someone even compared it to a Neil Breen movie. Are you familiar with Neil Breen films?
Oh, dude, you've got to see some Neil Breen movies.
They are like, it's not like, here's the thing. He earnestly is trying to make a great movie, which makes it so bad. Like Tommy Wiseau and The Room. Like he's being very earnest about everything he's saying. And people are comparing it to Neil Breen. Okay, for those of us who did see it, what are your thoughts? Are we surprised by this flop? Or just comment on the box office, right?
I mean, I read the script 2.5 years ago, and from what I gather from what the commentary, he didn't do much rewrites to the final end. Because when I read the script, it seemed like it was supposed to be a deep message from Coppola saying that if we care about society, we should be constantly trying to make it better, not tearing ourselves apart.
Right.
It was that's what I guess is held true with this final version. And to Coppola's credit, at least he put up his own money for this because no one was going to give it to him. And unfortunately, Hollywood was kind of right to say why we're not going to give you this money to make this movie because the box office is now reflective of that.
Do you think he cares though?
That part.
No, but I based on the commentary I've heard from you guys here on social media, from friends that have managed to see it, especially during the single showing at TIFF. As I was telling Chris before the show, this is Francis Ford Coppola's like THX 1138. Like that movie that George Lucas made, not a whole lot of people liked or got. It actually kind of pissed off Coppola at the time. And now it seems we have the inverse 50 odd years later.
Remember the trailers he got in trouble for where he had AI quotes from actual critics? Like,
that was Lionsgate.
But either way, but the point was to, that's what he thinks this will be viewed as. Like, even if it's hot take now, he thinks eventually people will see it as a masterpiece.
Some things could be ahead of their time. I don't know if Megalopolis is or not. Its narrative, my understanding of as narrative is really kind of jarring for a lot of people. And I've heard that there's an audience interaction point.
Yes.
Okay. Was that your screening or all screening? Because my co-host said that that did not happen for him.
It was at our screening. It did happen. And I saw the 30-minute like Q&A with Coppola. I don't know why De Niro and Spike Lee were there, but they were there.
Wow.
I was excited after the Q&A. The Q&A, he better conveyed what he was trying to do at the Q&A than he did with the film. The film brings up some very good ideas. They are interesting to explore, but the way it's expressed, I think, is a mega failure. And you can just apply mega to pretty much anything with this movie.
Would this be the type of movie that if you saw it on streaming and could pause and actually like completely digest what is the composition of the shot and what you just watched, would that work better for us?
You mean could you be on your phone while you watch this movie?
No, I mean, like, if you wanted to really engage, but there's so much coming at you that you have to pause to process it before you move on to the next part, would that make this a better experience? I'm wondering.
I just think it's so it reminds me of amateur like student like films where they're trying to do something profound but just saying it out loud instead of finding a clever way in a story to do it.
So yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, it's just so on the nose, so obvious. Like that's why the comparisons to Neil Breen, I didn't even think of that when I was watching it, but it was like, oh my God, that makes sense. Alan, I see you doing a lot on your.
Yeah, I'm looking at if you want to see it, it's labeled Megalopolis: The Ultimate Experience, and that's where you'll get the live performance.
Chris, how is Adam Driver? Is he, because Adam Driver, he's a great actor, but everything I see him in, he's just not the best in, and I'm not understanding what it is.
Not wrong, man. You could be a great actor in bad movies.
It is pretentious as AF, Andrew Wordna. It's so pretentious. And although I saw this picture of Adam Driver next to Keanu Reeves, And the caption, the meme was, Adam Driver looks like someone trying to draw Keanu Reeves from memory. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that makes sense. All right. So on social media, we're seeing, this is a good example right here. This is how Megalopolis is edited. It's just
What is the movie
so
even
scary.
about? I don't
Does he
know.
have
This
time travel powers or something like that?
No,
Time
he has
powers?
time. He can control time because
Okay.
art it can control time. But the basic idea of the movie is that the fall of the Roman Empire has happened every millennium, and it is happening now, and that's kind of the premise of the movie.
I feel like the marketing surrounding it just made it sound like it was a very self-indulgent fever dream, and I just don't think potential audiences were,
Fever Dream.
and what they were seeing
Good one.
wasn't really, I don't know, connecting with them. I don't know.
Well,
Nothing I've seen like
Oh, that's a
maybe
Citizen Kane shot
interested.
right there.
It's resulted in a lot of memes. What is this going on?
You want to help me, so to go back to the You want to help me,
So from the trailers, it seemed like a movie you could take
You want to help me,
substances.
just go back to the
I don't
I feel
know.
like I'm
Someone
on
needs to
acid
make
now.
a parody of this. This
That's-
seems to.
That's going to be in the dance clubs this Friday. I'm telling you.
Do you ever see Spoils of Babylon? That comedy series with Will Ferrell?
I have
No.
not. I have not seen.
Oh man, it's hilarious. But I get that vibe that they're trying to do a series. It's so funny, man. You have to see it. But they're
Here-
trying to do something serious, and it looks like that's what I get the same vibe. Something serious, but
There's
it
a
comes off as
video
parody.
of that moment when the ultimate experience when someone comes out. So let me.
Catalina, you said that.
Here we go. We'll watch this.
Catalina, you said that as we jump into the future, we should do so unafraid. But what if when we do jump into the future, there is something to be afraid of?
Well, there's nothing to be afraid of if you love or have loved. It's an unstoppable force. It's unbreakable. It has no limits.
Can't wait to see that.
Wait, hold up. What happened there?
Wait.
So somebody in the audience came out and talked to the screen?
Someone in the audience comes out and talks like in front of the screen, and the screen goes like small, and there's a little light on this person, and that's it. They didn't miss much.
What the hell is
But-
that?
It's not the movie. Is it part of the movie?
It's
Part of
not
the ultimate
the
experience,
movie.
I gather.
Yeah, it seems like it's a fan experience
just
based
take
on
it
where
out
you see
For
it.
normal.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm not
shadow
too many-
casting. They've incorporated shadow casting into this new movie.
Yeah. If you're in Podunk, Indiana, I don't think that's going to happen.
Was on something when he made this thing. That's wild, right
Well,
there.
that's what I was
man.
hoping
I've
for,
never
DA. I
heard of
thought you could take some
anything like that.
shrooms or a little, make the
Yeah,
put on a
man.
certain record. But no, it seems like this is just trash.
But that's only at the fan experience. So if I just go and see a normal, whatever, that's not
Yeah.
going to be a part.
That's not there yet.
Yeah, you're just gonna see the movie.
All right.
That scene
That's
is not
right.
even there.
Yeah, all right. Okay. I say, look, I got A-list, and I feel like I did myself a favor by not watching that trash.
I think part of the thing is he's been thinking about this since the 80s. Had he made it in the 80s, maybe we'd be talking about it now, or it was ahead of its time. But
Yeah, it definitely feels like something that's out of time. Like this isn't really made for audiences in 2024. Like you probably would have had to make that back, when, film was actually looked at. I mean, it's still looked upon as art, but you really, it feels like it's something very artsy, with a message, and, that's cool. I think we need more of that, but I don't think this was it. I don't think, again, I didn't watch it, so I can't really say if it was good, bad, or whatever. But the idea of putting something out like that in 2024 just seems like it's not in its own time. you
Right.
know? So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Maybe, you know, I like the fact that he put his own money behind it, and maybe he was trying to tell us something and he had a message or a point that he wanted to make. I appreciate that from artists. I feel like we need more of that from filmmakers, but I don't know, man. That just that just seems way out there for this day and age.
All right. Well, final thoughts on Megalopolis. What's really sad is, that it's not getting, I don't know that there'll be Oscar buzz about it. Like it's almost like, and I think part of the problem is, I mean, I do encourage you to see it. It's certainly important, just because it's been from a filmmaker once revered. And then also the story behind the movie is better than the movie. But it's also so many moments where the audience, and I saw it with a 100% full sold out IMAX screening. People were in the front row to the sides. People were seated. They laughed, burst out laughing at what should have been dramatic moments. They just
Shia LaBeouf, perhaps in robes, dress, makeup. I don't know. Alan saw it in a theater with like 10 other people. My screening was full and people were laughing. I mean, characters who get killed, like it's goofy, literally goofy. So
I respect the fact that he took a big swing. I mean, it's the end of his career. He took a big swing. He missed. It sounds pretty big,
right?
He missed in a major way. But you know what though? You know what though? In a time where there's no originality, he tried to do something original. It didn't land.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
it didn't land. So
wasted money on all his movies. You know, like
and I get it. But here's the thing: Coppola has always taken big swings.
Yeah,
if you think about it, it's just that the ones he took before actually worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm starting to think that he doesn't care that this is the movie he wanted to make, and for Coppola, it's like taking your child and putting them in your movie and then watching them fail spectacularly
and have sex with a character that's their cousin.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
he doesn't care, and I think that's what I'm saying is I don't think the box office matters to him. I think just making the movie, spending the money. He got it out, and he could care less what we all think about it.
So here's my question then, because I know a lot of his movies weren't appreciated during their time. So is Megalopolis going to be respected 20 years from now? Like, are we going to look back and say, "Oh, that was genius"?
Maybe. I mean, you never know what kind of culture we're going to have 20 years from now, 30 years from now. You never know how the world is going to move, and people might look back and say, wow, that was revolutionary. What an amazing mind. Yeah. You never know where things are going to go. Like, what was that, Shawshank Redemption, even though I loved it when it came out in theaters. I mean, it flopped in theaters.
Yeah.
It didn't catch on until it got. Yeah. So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, how, films will hit people, 20 years down the line. That's why I said it feels like what I'm hearing is that this film is just out of its own time. It was just it was made, but it wasn't really made for a certain time. So whether that's 40 years ago or 40 years into the future, who knows? Maybe it'll hit. Well, that could absolutely happen.
This is also, I think, Coppola's first experience where he's made a movie where he hasn't had to compromise his idea to satisfy other investors. And one thing that actually hurts creativity is no obstacles. And if he didn't have any obstacles here, if this is pure Coppola without any obstacles to overcome, you kind of have to go back and appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? The more you exercise your creativity is getting around those obstacles, not just destroying them or not having them to begin with in the first place. And maybe that's why Megalopolis is being received the way it is now.
It's a balance, right? You need a strong personality, but then an equally strong. Otherwise, you get the sequels, but they had no strong personality guiding it, but they had all the freedom in the world to fuck it up.
But that is if box office is your goal, then yes, I'm saying that I don't think.
This is his legacy, right, Alan? He just wants this out into the world and then buy.
I mean, think of it like Van Gogh or Warhol or something. They're not concerned about how much it's going to sell. It's their art, and they put it on the canvas, and then you release it out into the world, and it is what it is.
And for that reason alone, I say, you know, bravo to Francis Ford Coppola for doing that. I actually like that. You know, hey, this is the art that I want to make. Just like you said, just like a painter or anybody else. You know, I'm putting a piece of art out there and let the public decide what it is. If it's good, if it's garbage, let them decide that. So I actually respect that, you know, because I think we need more people just, you know, being risk takers. But when it comes to, you know, somebody trying to make some money, yeah, you're going to have to appeal to a wide audience in the film game. You know, you're not just going to be able to make something for, you know, a niche audience and, you know, everybody else is just going to be like, what the hell was this?
Yeah, I think we should realize that Lionsgate is not losing money in this. That Lionsgate was more or less the employee of Coppola to get the movie.
Yeah, this is all on him. This is all his money. And then, you know, he paid to, I get you saying he paid Lionsgate to distribute it.
Yeah,
well,
that's what it seems
kind
like.
of. They have like some sort of deal. It's akin to like next tier forewalling, is my understanding. Like Lionsgate gets a cut of whatever theater agrees to host them, and whatever's left over goes to Coppola, which clearly is not going to be a lot.
It's called a service deal.
Service deal, yeah.
Service deal. You can hire, and you know, it's at the distributor's you know, a discretion to put it out. But script, did you notice, like when you read the script, did you think, wow, if this gets made, it'll be brilliant? Or were you just WTF on the script?
I was pretty WTF on the script, actually.
That's what I thought.
Because I mean, there's this one point towards the end where I remember vividly, it's like, all my life I thought of Megalopolis, and I used to quote it to my girlfriend as a joke. Is that still in the movie?
Yeah, you know what? You know, script. The entire film is like a Greek play. You know, that's how dialogue is delivered. So yes, Megalopolis. It's
is there a chorus to it too?
Theater type fashion. and that's the entire. That's the problem I had with it. Was the entire dialogue. It's nothing's authentic about it. It's theater. You're watching theater.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. So look, if you want to go see it, go see it. I can't recommend it, but I feel like if Coppola wanted to say something about the fall of modern civilization, he could have made a documentary, or he could have, you know, written an essay, a commentary for the editorial for the New York Times. He could have done something else.
Well, I think that's what this was.
Oh, you know what he could have done?
That's what this is.
Yeah.
You know what he could have done? Like what he did with Apocalypse Now, which is an adaptation of Heart of Darkness. What if he just did the Shakespearean Julius Caesar play and do it that way?
There's a lot of that in this.
There are
play.
a lot of shades of that. Yeah, because I got an essence of that in the script, but it didn't feel strong enough because you've got Platinum kind of coming in there and messing around with all this stuff.
Well, I mean, Adam Driver's character is named Caesar.
Oh, okay. Because in the script, I think he's named Serge or Sergey.
No, it's Caesar in the movie.
It's very much on the nose.
Should have been
There's
Caesar.
no subtlety. There's no, and they have like the sort of Roman haircuts with the bangs. I think men should never. This is more of a women know more about bangs. It's a choice, but on men with bangs, mistake.
Yeah, Maximus made it look cool in Gladiator, but other than that very specific haircut, don't do it. Don't do
And
it.
guys, you'll fall in love with Shia LaBeouf.
You won't actually.
Lies.